Do you think residential REITs are a good alternative for investors who want rental income but don't want to deal with tenants? Yeah, but I mean, you just want to buy them when they're cheap, and I don't know that they're cheap right now. I haven't looked at the price, so I don't know what type of yield they're offering. I mean, as an example, if they're offering, and I don't know that how risky the yield. I don't know if it's like a dividend that's um, might be lowered, or I think they have to pay a dividend, don't they? But maybe they're not making profit. I don't know. I think it all depends on the underlying assets and the underlying cash flows that make up the REIT itself. And I know you've got residential here, but is that apartments? Where are the apartments? I mean, as an example, if you said, do I think a residential REIT based on Kenny McElroy's properties is a good alternative? I'd say, yeah, probably. But that's because I know Kenny is going to be an incredible manager. And I also know Kenny is going to buy the right properties in the right areas, like Arizona, Texas. I think he's got a couple in Utah and a couple in Oklahoma. So maybe he might venture into Florida or something like that. So if there was another REIT, let's say, that had all apartment complexes in Los Angeles and throughout California, I'd say no, I wouldn't touch it with a 10-foot pole. And then of course you'd want to buy it at a cheap price. So that's kind of how I'd think through that. Then you always have to say compared to what. And let's remember, right now you can get a 4.5% yield just on a 1-year Treasury, 1-year T-bill, maybe even 6-month T-bill. I don't know what the 6-month is trading at right now, but so you've got to consider that, right? Because I don't know if the REIT is going to really appreciate with the rate of inflation. Supposedly housing does, but that's when it's at a normal price. I don't know if the nominal value of residential homes is going to stay up with the rate of inflation when we're at all-time highs. A little different set of probability. We can see a lot of downward pressure on nominal prices just over the last few months, which makes a lot of sense, especially if interest rates are going up, and these interest rate hikes that we've seen take time to work their way through the entire system. So, and then also keep in mind that it's not just the nominal price going up. Let's just say the nominal price of residential homes stays the same. And I know that maybe this isn't applicable to the REIT question, but more in general for people considering buying residential real estate right now. Even if the price stays the same for 5 years, it doesn't mean you're not losing money. Because if we have 10% inflation, let's just say averaged over the next 5 years, you compound that, that's a big number. That's a big number of purchasing power that you're losing because the nominal price of the house stays the same, but the real value adjusted for inflation goes down significantly. Just things to consider.